Thank you very much, Professor Landsberg and you, Jay, for this honor and privilege to be part of the panel. I was part of the editorial engine room that produced this book, along with the DVC and Mr. Pahad's wife, Engineer Pere. And let me tell you that the engine room became quite heated at times. Not only because we were dealing with quite complicated subject matter, but also because our subject could be quite testy and irascible. Now, the moral of the story is, of course, that after many testy and tense sessions, I could get in my car and go home. However, Professor Pere was stuck with Mr. Pahad. Let me say that this is a very important book, not only because of the editorial role I played, but because what it represents in the broad genre of a memoir. I think it was none other than Henry Kissinger who said, "Few things have a limited appeal or a shelf life as the story of a retired politician, a diplomat, and their thoughts and opinions." But we have an exception in our midst here. There are parameters that you can use to judge whether a memoir works. 3 of them, actually. The one is for the introspective insight that it provides. The second is for the documentary accuracy on which it is based, the analytical sophistication behind the story. And the third parameter is whether it passes the test of unsparing honesty. And I can say without fear of contradiction that the Insurgent Diplomat succeeds on all 3 counts. Very successfully at that. This book is rather unique in the annals of memoirs, in the sense that it has a hybrid character, as Professor Landsberg hinted to. It's hybrid in the sense that it documents a political odyssey of an individual. The growth in political consciousness, maturity, and so on, but also an odyssey and a consciousness that was forged in the crucible of political struggle over many decades and political activism. I think that is the fundamental and essential appeal of this book, that it sort of straddles this very difficult divide between a personal story and a very sort of rich biography of political struggle. And it makes a very important contribution, particularly since we're in the university setting here, in the sense that in this broad coalface of South Africa's history and political narrative, Aziz has made a very important contribution as the Insurgent Diplomat representing a particular vein, one individual story in this sort of rich vein of historical narrative of struggles. An untold story, particularly with regard to what is probably the first account in the public domain from an ANC perspective of the multiple secret negotiations that took place over, a period of time in different kinds of settings, with a very complex and intricate cast of characters from both sides of the political divide, from the ANC as well as from the National Party government. Now, Willie Esther provides one account of that narrative, but I think the singular contribution of Aziz's book is that from an ANC perspective, we essentially get it from the horse's mouth. So in that sense, this is a book that deserves to be read, for its accessibility, but also for the contribution it makes of a youngster from Schweizer, and you struggle to find that on the map, some of you, but nevertheless, it documents that journey in great detail, often with deep understanding, sense of humor, but there's also great pathos in the story. As is characteristic of so many people who sacrificed their lives and struggle for the kind of democracy and freedom that we currently enjoy today. And I think for that, and for only that, Aziz deserves our great appreciation and thanks.
The University of Johannesburg. Rethink, reinvent.